Hey guys, today I'm doing this video from my old laptop so I can show you guys some 4 of my old videos that I did, and those 4 videos that I did concentrated on these dates: 8/15/2017 and 9/22/2017. And I posted them in July of 2017, and 2 out of these 4 videos actually got blocked for music that I used, and YouTube gave me the option to delete the music and keep the video. And when I tried to do that, it didn't work, so I re-uploaded it without music, and I guess I decided to just bag it all together, and I just ended up deleting them off my channel. But I took some screenshots of some of these videos here, just the main points that I wanted to show you guys. And I guess the reason I'm looking back on them is because I'm going to show you these dates, that 8/15/2017 and 9/22 have become very relevant again to December 2019. So I just kind of want to give you some background on those 2 dates moving forward here. And then I also want to show you guys kind of a neat synchronicity, I guess, with one of my videos that I did last year that has to do with Wormwood and the 24th star number. But I did this video let's see, it was July of 2017, the Pope, Revelation, and Hell Week. And the reason I kind of want to talk about it is because we're looking at a range of dates here in December of 2019. We're not just concentrating on one date. And of course, a week is 7 days, and those 7 days will represent the 7 trumpets of Revelation. But what I want to show you about this Hell Week here was that this TV series, Scream Queens, premiered on 9/22/2015, and the episode's pilot in Hell Week aired on this date. And the most interesting thing about that is that was the day that Pope Francis arrived in the United States. He arrived in the United States on 9/22/2015, and he ended up stepping off his plane at exactly 4:04 p.m. Eastern Time. And if we look at this Hell Week episode that premiered on the night of September 22nd, you can see here the episode, along with the pilot, was watched by 4.04 million viewers. And of course, that's for the 404 total verses in Revelation. And there was a lot of information in those 4 videos, but I'm just doing kind of the main points that I wanted to show you here. I talked about August 15th, 2015, going into the eclipse, August 21st, 2017, and how the moon phases were mirrored by the same week in September, from September 19th to September 25th. It was a lunar opposite, and that, of course, encompassed that 9/22/2017 date that I want to show you guys in my next video. I just want to get this out of the way to set up the dates for the next video. Another one of the things contained in one of those 4 videos was the Challenger disaster ritual. And the Challenger space shuttle explosion occurred on January 28th, 1986. And it exploded 73 seconds after launch. And we were told it was caused by a catastrophic O-ring failure. And this is an eclipse ritual, and I'll show you how it is here. It was reported that 17% of the Americans watched this event live on television. And if you look at the date of 1/28, the mirror of this date, of course, is 8/21. And we have the 17 and the 8/21, so we look at 8/21/2017. And of course, that was the date of the Great American Eclipse. And remember, they told us it was an O-ring failure. And this is called the ring effect, or the diamond ring effect of an eclipse. So on 8/21/2017, we had the Great American Eclipse. And where one of the date rituals come in here is that eclipse was the 11,529th day after the Challenger explosion, and 8/21/2017 was 5/29 on the Hebrew calendar. So you have your 5/29 match here. So let me make sure that's right here. Yeah, 5/29. 5777. And one of the reasons I'm looking at these 9/22 dates here is that in 2019, 12/20/2019, and I've covered this before, but 12/20/2019 is 9/22 on the Hebrew calendar. And this 5/29 is an interesting number as well when you want to look at it here a little closer. 5/29 is 23 times 23. And anytime you see this double 23 or a 23, a lot of times it's a DNA reference for the 23 chromosomes contributed by both parents. So this 5/29 can be a DNA number when you look at the square root. 23 times 23 is 5/29. Another one of these 9/22 connections here, and 8/15/2017 connections. The last Russian nuclear test was on October 24th, 1990, and this was 26 years, 9 months, 22 days to 8/15/2017. And of course, if we look at the Russian nuclear tests, we're told that they had tested a total of 969 total devices, and at this time the speed of Saturn was 9.69 kilometers per second. A couple of years ago that changed, but this was a Saturn ritual with the Russian nuclear tests. Also, this is the first time I showed the 101 in these videos, or the Stargate, the portal, how the Masonic arch represents the 101. And that goes back to Revelation 10:1. 10:1 is the 165th verse of Revelation. And when you add 101 plus 165, it sums to 266, which is the approximate location of the Golden Gate. Near Sagittarius. And in Revelation 101, it talks about 3 things here. The cloud, the rainbow, and the pillars. And come back to this one here. But the pillar rainbows in the cloud from Revelation 101. The destruction of the Twin Towers on 9/11 represented the pillars of Revelation 10:1. The Pulse event on 6/12, and 6/12 references the Great Earthquake. 9/11 is Apollyon, but the Pulse was the rainbow at the gay nightclub shooting. And on the cloud was on September 17th, 2016, the St. Cloud Mall shooting at the Crossroads Mall. And the reason that's so significant is that Wormwood is known as the planet of the crossing. So that's why they had the stabbing at the Crossroads Mall in St. Cloud. And we were told that that stabbing was an act of terrorism claimed by ISIS. And it was 811 days after the ISIS caliphate for our Revelation 8:11 Wormwood and crossing, planet of the crossing reference. And also something interesting is that St. Cloud, Minnesota, this happened on 9/17/2016, and the postal code for St. Cloud, France is 9/22/17. And the difference between these two dates is 101% of a common year, for our reference here to Revelation 10:1. And this was also in one of the slides. There's a bit of a clerical error here, but this is the first time I showed the 466 on my channel. And this is about Donald Trump was born on June 14th, 1946, which was the 165th day of the year. Back to our 165, and that's the 9th tetrahedral number. But 466 days I had listed here after his birth was the beginning of World War II, the official start date of World War II for the United States. That's actually incorrect. It is a 466. 614. It's 4 years, 6 months, and 6 days. And what's so interesting about the 466, of course, is that 466th prime is 3313. The 24th star number, which I reference in the coding of Revelation 8:11. Talked about that a lot, but this is, I just wanted to show the first time that I used this 466 or showed this 466. And something that's interesting also, I took a look back at one of my videos here. This was part 2, Lincoln, Chicago, Wormwood, and the Great Earthquake. I never talked about this positioning of 811 in this video, but this slide, I kind of just skipped by this slide in this video where I show the 3313, and I did this back on March 20th, 2018. And what's so interesting about this is I went back, I was just kind of curious when I made this slide. So I went back to find this slide on my computer, and I made this slide on March 16th, 2018. And I don't know what made me decide to check this, but I put this. What I did was I took my birthday. This is my birthday, May 16th, 1979. And I added 466 months. And that came out to be March 16th, 2018. The first time that I made this slide. I don't date my notes, but this is kind of interesting, kind of a neat synchronicity with this 3313, and also that I showed that 466 as well way back when I didn't even know exactly what I was looking at with this slide here. And the three combinations of 466 sum to 1776, the founding year. That's also kind of interesting also. And like I said before, I just want to set up those two dates, August 15th, 2017 and 9/22/17, because I'm going to be talking again about this slide, this application of these verses of Revelation in regards to the Great Pyramid. Because there are 33 verses between Revelation 6:12 and Revelation 8:11, and 13 more verses to Revelation 9:11. And I have the wormwood star as the capstone, and I'm going to talk more about this capstone. The Great Pyramid with the capstone in antiquity was 481 feet. I want to talk about the pyramid with the capstone and this 481. Covered that a little bit before. I'm also going to be taking another look at Venus and how that connects to this whole puzzle. Venus, as I look at it more and more, is becoming more and more important to this Revelation puzzle. And we're also going to be looking at this calendar synchronization that occurs November and December of 2019. The calendar synchronization with the Hebrew calendar relative to the number of days after the founding date. Have all those. I have those 3 or 4 months all kind of mapped out with the calendar synchronization, both forward and backward, with the founding date and then some other dates as well. Pretty interesting stuff. Pretty interesting synchronization coming up here in December with the Hebrew calendar. See if there's anything else I missed here. Oh, one other interesting thing is, I talk about the eclipses. The landfall of the 2017 eclipse occurred in Lincoln City, Oregon, and the next structure or building that surpassed or eclipsed the height of the Great Pyramid was the Lincoln Cathedral. And I've covered a lot of this before, but just showing again that the Lincoln City landfall of the Great American Eclipse and all the Lincoln connections I've shown, they're all connected. The Great American Eclipse sets kind of the timeline, or the count up or count down to the events of Revelation. But we're going to be talking more about this, more about Venus, and more about the calendar, the Hebrew calendar, in December in my next video. And this very, very important number, 3313, the 24th star number, the capstone. Okay, guys, hope that wasn't too confusing. Thanks for watching.